What is up, everybody? Welcome to Revv Time. Today I want to address a question that's been coming up quite a bit, and it's a very valid question. There's been a little bit of confusion surrounding a switch that's on the front panel of the Alpha Series amplifiers, so specifically the D20 and the G20 amplifiers. And that switch is the pre-post switch. There's been some confusion as to what that switch actually does and what it means. So first of all, the thing I think I should point out is that switch only applies to when you're using the 2-notes embedded software and hardware. Basically, what this switch allows you to do is either put the software before the power section of the amplifier, which would be in pre, or after the power section of the amplifier, which would be post. Now, the reason you would want to do that is when it's pre, so you're not hearing the power section of the amplifier anymore, so that you can use power amp simulation within the software. So if you don't want to use the 6v6 power that's in the D20 or the G20, and you'd rather have EL34 power amp simulation, then you can go ahead and route around the power section of the amplifier and just use the simulated software. So in pre, you won't hear the power amp into the 2-notes embedded software. In post, you will hear the power section into the embedded software. So it just depends on how you want to use it. For me, I'm less apt to use the power amp simulators, but that being said, it does sound really cool. So I'll just give you a really quick example. Like right now, this amp, my personal D20, is set up in post. So we're running direct into my Apogee out of the XLR out. So we are using the embedded software. And so this is how it sounds. Now I've got it set in crunch mode or boost mode, so it'll break up a little bit. So that is post. Now, one thing you'll hear right away is when I switch to pre, now we're only hearing the preamp section of the amplifier into the 2-notes embedded software and hardware. But what I can do is I can go into the software now and turn on, in this case, I'll turn on an EL34 power amp simulator. So check it out. So now we're hearing an EL34 simulator in triode, and we're no longer hearing the power section. We've essentially routed around that in pre. Now, one way to double check what's going on, if you're having doubts as to am I, bypassing the power amp or not, is if you shut the volume off, which is the master, it shouldn't change your signal at all. So that's kind of how you know. I am clipping a little bit, but I'm not hearing anything audibly. So that's how you know for sure that you're in pre and you're not hearing the power section. So now if I go back, now we're in post, I can turn off the EL34 cab simulator, or I should say a power amp simulator. Now we're hearing my power section, and the way we know is now we've got no signal because the software is after the power amp. So just one more time, right now we're hearing the power amp. If I go to pre, we're no longer hearing the power amp, and that allows me to turn on power amp simulation within the software. So now we're hearing EL34. So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video to hopefully clear that up, because like I said, it is a little bit confusing. But if you just think of it as, where is the software being placed? Is the software happening after the power amp, or is it happening before the power amp? So long as you look at it that way, so pre is before, post is after, it should, ring clear as a bell for you. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.